Hello, 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 hello. We are on air. Instead of on ice, we're on air. Just let me share this on social media so that people find it. And it can go worldwide. Wide world. I got a little I got a little ooh. And on whenever I share it, YouTube gets stuck on titles, so it's been like the same title for ages on social media. People are looking at it like, how many more times does she have to talk about that subject? YouTube, it's stuck. YouTube is stuck. Jesus. Just been booking flights for India and yeah, my God, what they send as your itinerary. Work flights. Hey guys, sorry it's a little bit late tonight. I couldn't stop my friend from talking. I was on the telephone and I kept trying to end the conversation and they just kept talking and I just couldn't get off the telephone. So that is why I'm late. It's all their fault. I am the innocent party. I am a victim of their talking. It's a joke, obviously. I'm just saying it to my friend that I was on the telephone with, just to... It's not because of that. The real reason is that Khaleesi, she did this and then she did that and da-da-da, and it wasn't my fault, and then here we are, and that's why I was late. Understood? And of course, just to be clear, it's never my fault. Just so you all know. Ça va? So here we are again today doing our public talk, talking about nothing. And people attend this public talk because it's free, not because they enjoy the subject of nothing, and because, you get a warm cup of tea and a shelter over you while we do the talk. But really nobody's very interested in the subject of nothing. Who would be interested in the subject of nothing? Most humans are interested more about survival of the fittest, getting more food than their neighbour and a bigger house than their neighbour. So the idea of nothing is really, who would want that? Only nobody could want nothing, because it wouldn't make sense that somebody wants something. Nothing. Oops, I got confused. We are being joined by it's one of them. It's one of these. These are very intense insects. One moment. This. You see these insects? They stick to you. It freaks Khaleesi out. And I thought, that she was being a little bit dramatic. And I thought it was a little OTT, her response. She really goes psycho if one of these insects was around. Then one of them stuck themselves to me, and I ended up doing the psycho dance. It stuck itself to my head, and I thought that I'd got it off, and they bite. It gave me a big bite up there, and I thought I'd got it off, and then I felt something here, and I realised it wasn't off, so I pulled it off there, and then I felt something here, and realised it was back on me, and then here, and then here, and then in the end I'm like, ah, get it off! And I ended up doing what Khaleesi does, of like dancing around trying to get it off you, and it really bites. I mean, this bite that it gave me, it like welled up, I don't know if it got infected, to a big lump, and then it popped on top of my head, which is quite satisfying when it popped, but a little gross, because then it was stuck in my hair. So, I've never seen any of these insects except here in the south of France. I've never seen any of them in the rest of the world, and all the places I've lived. Look at it, it's like this flat thing. It's not, it looks like a tick, but it's not. I've never seen them anywhere but here. Never seen them in England, never seen them in Australia. In Australia you've got all types of insects and kangaroos. But this thing, I don't even know what it's called. It should be called the crazy dance. It really makes you go crazy after a time. You're like, you can't get it off you. It just keeps... And like Khaleesi sometimes walking along, and I see it's on the side of her cheek, and she's like, and then she works out it's there, and she goes wild. And then I'm trying to help her get it off. The dramas of being alive, eh? What luxurious lives you have if your biggest problem is that insect, eh? I think they would call that first world problem. So, now we've got to think of something to say. Oh, we do the advertisements. That's the routine. Okay. So the advertisements for today are that you can get 2 for 1 if you book. Dang, dang, dang. No, joke. You can't get 2 for 1. That would send me bankrupt. Let me just look at my website to see what I am actually advertising at the moment. You can also click the I and then click on the card, and then it sends to the website, and you can read it for yourself. But in case you don't, I shall read it to you because it's super, super important. 8-night retreat in the south of Spain, the 27th October to the 4th of November. That is 8 nights retreat in the south of Spain. Not just 6, not just 7, but 8-night retreat. And it's perfect timing because it's Saturday to Sunday. So if you do the 5-day week, you only have to take 5 days off, but you get 8 days. Maybe more than 8 days, actually. 8-night is 7 days and 2 half days, I think. I don't know. Retreat in Tiruvannamalai, India, 13th of January to the 20th of January. Tiruvannamalai, India, where Ramana Maharshi lived. And Ramana Maharshi seems to be the superstar of non-duality at the moment. And then he'll have a sex scandal and everyone will suddenly be like, poof, poof, poof. Open talks in India, the 6th to the 12th of January 2019. The 24th to the 30th of January 2019. The 2nd to the 8th of February 2019. And that is in Tiruvannamalai, Goa and Rishikesh. So you're welcome to join any of them. That is it. That is all my exciting events. I'm excited to go to India. and I feel very lucky. No, that's not the right word, lucky. Just very nice and great. Not grateful, I can't think of the word, but just I have somebody that paid for my flight. So somebody offered to pay for my flight over there, and somebody offered to pay for my hotels over there. So that's really, really wonderful, because it's quite an expensive trip to do all of that. And I do the open talks all by donation. I do the retreat, and then the open talks are by donation. So that's really wonderful. So thank you for those people that want to remain anonymous. I'm just praying that that it wasn't a donation for it was donation for appreciation of my talks and what I share, and not for, no, sorry, I was going to be very naughty there. Sorry, forget it. I was just joking, I was just having fun. Sometimes I push the jokes too far, you know. I'm sure everybody else was thinking it. Hey guys, hey Jeremy, hi Bia, hi Paul, hi Catherine, hey Marcus, hi Elango. I always like to do a bit of silent sitting at the beginning of my talks. So we'll just have a few moments with God. So the power of, now obviously I didn't put the power of now, because who is now? Who? I just put the power of, I should have put the power of nothing actually, that was maybe a better title. Maybe I'll put that, I'll just correct it. The power of nothing. It's kind of funny. So now I've got to do talking. Ce n'est pas parler anglais. So all there is what's happening. This is what's happening, and this is freedom. This. This is everything you look for. You can go to India, you can go to Spain, you can go to Timbuktu, you can live on the moon, you can find the perfect house, you can find the perfect partner, and none of that will be enough, because all you ever wanted was what was actually happening. But your mind, your person, believes that what you want is an actual thing, and that you've got to own the thing. But the truth of it is that you and the thing don't really exist. So it's like two impossibilities trying to make something permanent, which is totally and completely and utterly impermanent. So you try to hold on to something that cannot be held on to, and the one that's trying to hold on to something doesn't actually exist. So the one that's trying to hold on will also change its mind about what it actually wants, because it's not an actual solid entity. It's something that's continuously moving and growing and evolving and doesn't exist as something. There is no thing. There is appearances happening in an apparent pattern, but it doesn't belong to anyone. And remembering that who you are is this no thing, which is appearing as everything, which is all things. And the bridge to that no thing and everything is the consciousness and the I am. Although you aren't consciousness and you aren't the I am as independent things, as no thing, which is everything. There isn't something that's conscious of the I am, that's conscious of the world in which you are. That would be separation. The consciousness is nothing and the I am is nothing, and it's the bridge between that and everything, but it doesn't inherently exist in itself, because nothing exists as an independent thing. Nothing exists separately. So you can't be consciousness and you can't be the I am, but yet you are that. But you can't be them, because what are they? What is consciousness and what is the I am? If you think it is a feeling, or if you think it is this empty looking which you can see, it's not that. It is not that, because it's nothing, and it is experiencing itself as everything. It's not that you have to find the place of where it's experiencing itself as everything. It is experiencing itself as everything, and there's no separation. It's just the way it is. And you could say the I am is the love, is the everything, and the consciousness is the emptiness, is the nothing. But at the same time, those two titles don't exist, because you are not a thing. Life is not a thing that stays still. It is everything. It's everything. It's energy appearing as many, but they don't actually exist as many. If you got a microscope and looked at your computer now and went smaller and smaller into the details, you'd realize there is no computer, there is no human, there is no things, there is energy appearing as everything. So you might look and think this is a stable computer, but you know from your scientific education, if you went to school or if your parents home taught you, or whatever education system you went to, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the idea that everything is made up of atoms. And inside those atoms, there's smaller particles, and inside them, there's smaller and smaller and smaller, until you get to the tiniest particle possible, which is the quark. And when they opened up the quark, they discovered, there is nothing inside the quark. At the base of the universe, there is not a thing making the universe. It's no thing appearing as everything. And that is who you are. You are that life force, that energy, which isn't anything, but is everything. And it's totally astonishing and amazing and beautiful and wonderful and incomprehensible and unexplainable and perfectly imperfect. That's it. That's the way it is. That's the way the universe is. Done deal. And you suffer because you believe you're a thing, and you believe you're a person. And you believe you're in relationship with other things, which is a complete and utter lie and impossible, and you'll be chasing your tail for the rest of your life if you believe that. And then you believe you go to heaven afterwards if you've been good. What a terrible, terrible existence, to try to be good for your whole life in order to go to heaven. When humans don't even exist as a person, but then to also try to be a solid person, that is good. I can tell you none of us are good, and all of you have done things on the scale of good and bad and everything in between. Some people have maybe done more bad things, but really their bad actions are your actions, because there is no separation, and who are they but you? You can put them in jail and point your finger, but that's only you trying to deal psychologically with your crazy concept of separation. You know. Pretty fly for a white guy. Boom, picky dunk, dunk, bong, 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 bong. I really enjoyed having music lately, but I kept getting banned. So then I get in trouble with YouTube. So, you know, I can't just suddenly be like, bang, ba, ba, bang, bang, ba, 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 and then put the music on and everyone can dance to that, because YouTube bans me. Now, some people might feel victim to YouTube, but guess what? YouTube is you. Everything is you. So who are you victim to? Because who is this you that is victim to this YouTube that's outside of you? When we've established that everything is made up of this nothing and is appearing as everything. It just looks like you're having an experience through a human body, but everything you experience is yourself. Yourself. It is you. What is not you? There is only ideas which limit things. This is my body. I exist inside my body. My computer, which is helpful for society, you know, because if I couldn't say to some people, this is my body, they might try to take my body and live inside my body, which would be a bit of a disaster, because there'd be two of us inside this body, which shouldn't work, but... So that works on the human level, but on the absolute level, there is nobody inside these bodies. Who is this you that's inside the body? Who's having an experience? An idea is having an experience that's always changing. Everything you describe about yourself is always changing. Every idea, every thought, every emotion, it's always changing. There isn't something solid. In every moment, you're a different person. And science even backs this up. It says our bodies are completely changing all the time. And in 7 years, you have a completely new body. Eating reflects this back. Drinking reflects this back. You eat food from the outside, you put it in your body and it becomes your body, and then you let it out and it becomes food for something else. There is nothing which belongs to anybody. There is nothing that's yours. That body is not yours. That ugliness, that beauty, that indifference isn't yours. That emotion isn't yours. There is nothing which is yours. Boop, boop. It's not going to happen when I'm in the middle of a rant. Florin. Sorry. I will go to you after the rant. After the rant, me and Florin will have a conversation. But at the moment I'm on rant about nothing. I'm ranting about nothing. It's not even me, because who is it that's speaking? Your imagination might say Lisa is speaking, she is a woman and she is speaking, but that's not true. How could a woman be speaking this? It's just appearing out of we don't know where, out of a place that's undefinable, that we can only label with words, but we can never actually find and grab it and say, there is the place in which Lisa is speaking from. The experience always is that it arises from nothing, from an invisible source, from this absolute mystery, which is totally exciting and wonderful and brilliant and love. Because that's the same as the outside. If you look at the outside, where did the outside come from? Your mind says it came from the past, but your experience is that it simply appears from a place that you cannot find. It's magic. These words appear from magic. The outside appears from magic. Your partner's words are appearing from magic. Yes, but he's an asshole and he doesn't do this and he didn't do the washing up. Yeah. And in 100 years, you're dead. Well, maybe not quite 100 years, depends on science. In 80 years, you're dead, and you spent your life moaning about your husband. There's a lot of people trying to call. Ce n'est pas bien. It is not. No, that's not right. Ce n'est pas maintenant. Maintenant. Ce n'est pas maintenant. It is not now. It doesn't really work, French, like English. It doesn't work. If you say it like you speak in English in French, it doesn't work. Maybe it's like, now it is not. Maintenant, ce n'est pas. Or maybe it's, ce n'est maintenant pas. Ce n'est maintenant pas. It's hard to know. Yeah. What else? What creates your unhappiness is firstly the belief that you exist as a separate entity and that you have rules, that you have ways of being, that you are limited. And that's true on the character level, but on the absolute level, that's not who you are. Who you are is this free expression that has no limits and no bounds. And that is everything. Everything you're speaking to is that boundlessness. It's just in the pattern there appears to be rules and limits, but on the absolute level, which is always present, there is no bounds and limits. So in your humanness, when you're contracted into the character and you believe that you are a person, then your underlying feeling is of seeking, that you're uncomfortable, that there is something wrong, and so your energy seeks for a better future and to avoid a bad past. And you believe that if you get enough money, if you get a better job, if you get a better husband, if you get a better wife, if you get better clothes, if you get better looks, if you get a better dog, if you get a better garden, if you take away all the stress, that you will be happy. And that's not true. Your happiness is your presence. Happiness is your nature. Your nature is free. Your freedom is free. And that's here right now. It's in this. It's in everything. Things will come and go. Your house will be beautiful and then ugly and then beautiful and then ugly and fashionable and not fashionable. And you'll be young and then you'll be middle-aged and then you'll be old and then your garden will be overgrown and then neat and tidy and then the leaves will fall and then it will be crazy again. So in the world of things, you'll never get to the end of it. You'll never find this place of perfection that you're looking for. The perfection is now. And when you remember that, then life will begin to sort its way out. The flow of things will respond to the vibration of the being, not because there's some magic to it, as in like it's magical for you. It is magical ultimately, but because things work like that. If you have a person that's really tight and angry and contracted and negative, then that's what it'll attract. It will attract and see that everywhere. And if you have somebody that's open and blissed and happy, then that's what it will see everywhere. Even if it's with people that are tight and contracted and unhappy, it will still see this openness. It's vibration. It's all about vibration. Life will take care of itself when you surrender to yourself, when you surrender to the reality of this world. It's all you've ever wanted. All you've ever wanted. Okay, let's take some questions. So just in case you guys don't know, I tend to take the questions through Skype, and my Skype address is Cairns12. And Panmantanal. Okay. It's just Panmantanal. Thanks, Ro. Yeah, I've heard that you can just use Pa a lot of times. Not written, but so this is from Marcus. Hey Lisa, you once said that you are an energetic being which can just tell where certain questions are coming from. Does that also mean that you can feel the energies or even the emotions of the questions through their Skype messages? If so, then would be kind of awesome and a bit scary too. I don't know, really, you know. I'm not sure. I get the sense that I can feel the place in which that question's coming from, but I don't know. I say that and then it gets contradicted. It's easy to say something and then it changes and you find out something different. I don't ever remember saying that I was an energetic being. I don't know what that means. I'm sure I did. I've said many things. I say everything. So at one point I'm sure I said that, but I don't know what you mean by that or what I meant by that when I said it. Hey Catherine, hey Paul, hi Bea, hey Jerry, hey Isabel, hey Prem. I am angry with you, why don't you answer? Me. Are you borderline or something, Prem? Can't you see that I have loads of people asking me questions? I think you're joking, and I was joking in response. And what I meant by borderline, God, I always have to explain my jokes because I always feel like I don't want anyone to take it too personally. Borderline is somebody that often if you're borderline, you're very afraid of abandonment. So somebody can just not look you in the eyes properly, and then you feel like they've abandoned you. So like a teacher with like 150 people or something watching you live, asking questions, and then you're like, why didn't he answer my question? Hey, Florian. Oh, hang on a sec, just one sec. Hello. Hey, it's better if you turn your video off just because my internet can't really handle all these different things. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know how to tell you. Maybe I call you back and just answer with the phone, don't answer with the camera. Yeah, but I'll call you back and then just answer with the phone, not the camera. Okay. Hey, Florian. There we go. We sorted it. Yes. Yeah. 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 How old was she when she was left? Yeah.
Her sister was about 7, and the brother was a little bit older.
Yeah.
And she's some kind of a seeker,
Yeah.
and in all her um, situation, when she realized something about her personality, um, she encounters this kind of um, problem, the fact that she was abandoned
Yeah.
by her parents.
Yeah.
Her mother went to Italy, her father went to Bacchus
Yeah.
arms. He started drinking,
Yeah.
and they were left to the grandmother.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, I just see what comes. Like nothing's coming at the moment. To see what comes up.
This is the best answer.
So her tendency in the flow of life is going to be to stop abandonment. So in the flow of life, she's going to hold that to be very important, where other people will have that as less important. And it's going to cause all types of effects in her life. But everybody has that in their life, not the abandonment, but everybody has issues in which affects their life. If their parents didn't abandon them, maybe they gave them too much attention, or were too wanting too much from their kids, or too focused on their kids' achievement. There's always going to be something at the source of people's behavior. And the difficulty that we have with our behavior is when it affects other people. So when we live in groups and we live in communities, if there is somebody with abandonment issues, that can affect the people that you're around, because then maybe they require a lot of attention, which is tiring, and maybe you can't give them all the attention they need, or maybe it produces a lot of fear and arguments. Whatever it is, that's one side of things, and that's on the human level. And it predominantly is a problem in human relationships. And human relationships is also work, because work is something we created, and it's an idea that we've created, like money and the exchange of money. So work is also a human relationship. And this is where the person struggles the most if they've got something like abandonment issues. And they can go to different therapies to try to help that, but it's going to be very strongly ingrained in their personality. So there is something that I can talk about on the personality level that will help your wife, but predominantly the most important part is that she sees there is nobody, that she isn't a solid entity, that there is reactions appearing in beingness, in freedom, in this no thing, and these reactions appear and disappear. and that they don't belong to anyone. That isn't her. Who she is prior to that. When she's totally identified with the character that's abandoned, then that's very intense, all those feelings, and everything feels so real. It really feels like she's been abandoned. So the most important thing is that she has space from it and sees, it's not even her that has space from it, it's just space is created and it's seen that that's not who she is, that she isn't someone that was left in childhood. She isn't someone that's got to deal with these abandonment issues. She isn't someone that's got to heal herself. Who she is this free presence that's never been affected by anything, that's right here, that's alive, that's vital, that's innocent, that's doing everything, that creates all the words, that creates the actions, that creates the thoughts, that creates the world, and it's always here. And that freedom is here in presence. It's not found in releasing a trauma or fixing that. It's found in this moment, and that's the answer to everything. That is the freedom. So that's the one answer. On the human level, she can recondition that to an extent. It might be something that she always has throughout her life, but she can recondition it. And the way that you recondition a dynamic is, first of all, you have to totally, it's like AA, you have to totally accept and realize that you've got that dynamic. So maybe she's in denial about it. Maybe she thinks it's you that's abandoning her, or that you've done these things, or that it's a work, but she's got to totally confess that she's got abandonment issues and totally feel that and admit it and know that that's true, that her personality has that. Once she does that, she needs to begin to explore what the feelings are that she feels when that's triggered and where it is in her body. And she has to make a commitment that she wants to change it. Sometimes this is all in the human level, but sometimes there's not a commitment to want to change it. The person doesn't want to change it. The person wants to stay in that. I know it sounds crazy that somebody would want to stay in it, but sometimes you do want to stay in your dynamics. You do want to stay victim, or you do want to stay hard done by, or you do want to stay as an abandoned child that's looking for a parent. And so there's got to be a complete commitment that that is something that wants to be changed. And then she needs to, when that feeling's coming up, there needs to be a surrender and a recognition that that feeling's coming up. So an admitting that that's coming up, and admitting that it's not your fault or somebody else's fault. So seeing that, accepting the feeling, and then putting energy to recondition it into a more positive feeling. And the positive feeling would be the opposite, which is I am lovable, and I have all the love I need in myself. So that's how you work with it on the human level. So there's two answers there. There's the absolute answer, and then there's a more human answer.
I think both are good and welcome. She is here, she is listening, she has a very hard issue in recognizing that, in fact, that's the truth. The fact that, yes, she was abandoned.
Yeah.
After a few years, she realized that this recognizing this issue it was a trigger who started changing in her life. We have two children, and when she realized that that's the situation, she has become more warm with the children, because she couldn't approach the children. She was having the feeling that I was received from her, that was she was afraid that she was going to be abandoned by me and by the children too.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, through the Muji and other spiritual teachers that we were looking for, she started to understand that there is another aspect of the life.
Yeah.
The entire existence, it is happening. The presence of the parents in her life, if that they are, she got something to learn about it. If that they are not, also you got something to learn about. But that which is learning and the lesson itself, it's one.
Yeah.
And it's something else which is aware of this. And this is the real struggle she has to
And can I just
So
ask why she's not speaking to me and why you are? Just because it's a little strange
she is
speaking about someone
hearing.
in the third
Ye-
person.
Hello.
Hello. Hey.
Uh,
Yeah, it's just I just wanted to say that just because I wasn't sure if it was because of language or you're shy, just because it's your husband speaking as well.
the both of the both. I don't know very well English. I
Oh yeah,
understand a lot.
yeah,
I listening to you,
yeah,
and
sure.
I love you very much.
Oh, I love you too. Yeah, I just wanted to just clarify that, just otherwise we could go into a weird subject where he's describing your issues and maybe you're not even there or aware of it.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
She is being very emotional. That's why
Yeah,
she in contact with the people. She cannot hold herself. It has to have a period of time to make peace with the situation and
yeah.
to realize he is not in danger. That's why he's. She knows very well English, but it's that nobody wants me. I'm not good, and I also talk with her about this aspect of her life. But it's better, you know. Jesus, nobody is a prophet in his own country, and through you, I found you on YouTube, and I show, look, Lisa, you may be like this, and she falls in love with you, which is
Oh, sweet.
one
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, well, she can watch this back as well afterwards because it's recorded, so she can listen again.
Yes, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
with pleasure. Lovely to speak to you both. I send you lots of love.
Thank you. Sorry,
Thank
I
you.
called you in the.
Oh, well, it worked out perfectly. That's okay. It worked out really well. It was nice to speak with you both.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I see why Florian apologized because he phoned when I was doing my long speech. Oh, thank you for apologizing, Florian. I thought you meant just for calling. I'd forgotten that is what happened. Yeah. So thank you for saying that. I understand. Skype is confusing. I've just used it for so many years. I'm so used to it. I just have to switch on the light. It's getting darker now. Hello, Mitchan. I just called you. I'm just watching for the first time. Did you want to ask a question? You have to call, otherwise you watch through live stream. Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for your talks. I have Sephiroth's Awakening and been going to meet my teacher, Caesar Terrell, and I don't seem to find the end. Could you help to explore this? Thank you so much. I'm open to live. Okay, let's go live, Gustavu. He's unavailable. Okay. Just call back when you're available. Hi, Helen. Could you say the ego energy needs to play out its most heavy parts before there is the possibility of collapse of identified person? Thank you for your response. Much love. You could say that. You could also say not. You could say another way. You could say this. You could say that. Who knows the appearances in this life and how it all works? In a lot of people, I think, experience, it tends to be that the ego fights the whole way. Or I don't like to call it the ego, but the separate person wants to maintain its illusion that it exists as a separate person and that it will get happiness in the future, and it doesn't want to give up that dream of itself, so it tries to fight to stay alive. But you know, who knows? Je ne sais pas. It tends to be that way, I think. Hey Thomas, hey Ro. Pas maintenant. Enzo. Hey, hello la Lisa. Hello la Enzo. Hello, Lisa. It seems that any question I want to ask you comes from the mind. It's like an endless game where the mind always intervenes, and all your comments is like a trap because we try to understand it when it's something that cannot be understood. No, it cannot be understood. It's a happening. So who you truly are, the absolute, doesn't think. So who would it be that understands what I say and like what I say? It's when you're seeking to understand something collapses, then there is this presence. But it was always there, even when you're thinking, is it this or that? It's just in the background. But you think, I'll answer something, I'll understand something, and then I'll arrive. It's not true. Arrival is here. You've already arrived. So thought comes up, is it consciousness or is it the I am? Is the source nothing or is it consciousness? Is it this? Is it that? And then that question arises, and it's still present. It's still this. It's just the mind is like, and then it collapses, and then it's still this. No matter what, it's always this. And you're never going to find what you're looking for in a thought, in a feeling, in an idea, in an event, in a person. It is what you are. It is right now. It's nothing complex. It's the most simplest thing, but yet it's extraordinary. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Lisa.
Hey.
Hi, very nice to hear you.
Yeah, nice to hear you too.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Could you tell me how to
Yeah,
say your name, please?
Yeah, Gustavo, yes.
Gustavo.
Yes.
Thanks.
Just to say, I'm calling from India, and my battery and my internet is maybe not working so well. So I hope I can follow through the full question or the full time with you.
Yeah.
I was been experiencing some awakenings and experiencing the presence very much, and just being really frustrated because when I was with my teacher Cesar, he told me that I couldn't do anything else, was just nothing else to do, just wait for it to maybe fall away. And I understand that at some level, but somehow I still try to find some other way to do
avoid
something,
frustration.
which
some other way to avoid frustration.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with the feeling of frustration? What's so dislikable about being frustrated?
Dislikable. It's just that I've been wanting so much realization for so long time that it's just like I feel I'm never getting there. It's like it's almost there, but almost never there. It's like
and what's so terrible about that? What's the feeling that you don't like feeling?
Yeah, I guess it's like disappointment.
Yeah, and you can take that, can't you? It's just a bit of disappointment.
Yeah, I guess.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So you're disappointed, yeah? So the feeling of disappointment comes up. The problem is disappointment comes up, so you have the feeling like I'm disappointed. So I get disappointed, sometimes when I cook myself a dinner, surprisingly, even though I'm a fantastic cook, I cook it and it's not as good as I expected, and I'm like, this is a bit disappointing. And it's just a bit of a feeling that comes up. The problem is that whether your mind goes fishing with that disappointment. So if you have that feeling come up, there's disappointment, and then your mind is like, yeah, but I've done it wrong. If I did something else, if I had a better teacher, if I had done this in my life, if I did this, if I sat and meditated for 10 weeks, then it would happen. So it's not the disappointment that's the problem. It's the fishing that comes with the disappointment, that your mind attempts to run off into some story to fix the situation, rather than just being disappointed. Just having the feeling of disappointment and letting it go, and then carrying on with eating your dinner or listening to the talk or walking in the street. It's that you have the feeling of disappointment. The thought comes up, I've not made it. Disappointment comes up, and then you spend the next 2 days worrying about it. It's like it's only a feeling, and so what can happen on the human level, although this isn't a prescription, this is a description of what can happen, is that the disappointment arises. So the feeling appears somewhere in your body, more than likely in your solar plexus. The feeling appears, and then there's a letting that feeling be there, and you're not running off with all the thoughts that go with it. That you want to be somewhere else, that you want something else, It's just letting that feeling come. You'll spend your whole life running after your tail if you keep trying to avoid feelings. They're just feelings. It's just a feeling of frustration. It's just a feeling of disappointment.
Of course, yeah.
It's much better. It's much better than being, like on the brink of poverty and being like desperate for food. It's a better problem, the feeling of disappointment, than that.
Of course.
Now you're going to say, yeah, but I'm really broke, Lita, and I'm on the brink of poverty. When I said it, I was like, when you said,
I go, there is no answer. I feel this somehow like it's the there is no answer.
Even that though is a bit of a victim story.
Something like that.
Yeah, but even that's a bit of a victim story. It's not even that. It's like, it's just this. And then the thought comes up and goes, everywhere I go, there isn't an answer. It's like, it's not even that. You haven't even got that drama to play out.
I just actually for about about 3 to 6 months, I stopped going to satsang just start living my life, just enjoying everything. Because I just realized there was nothing else to do and just be on the now and enjoy everything. So, but from time to time I get this intense seeking again, like, I really want it now, and then I go into this stuff again.
But you realize that that's another story, that I'm just going to live my life and enjoy my life and enjoy that. That's another story that you have. The freedom is this. The freedom is what is. And these are stories that arise and disappear for whom? They're just stories that appear and then they go, and then I'm going to live my life, I'm going to do this, and then they're gone again. And you're always here no matter what. No matter how much you fight, no matter what stories you tell yourself, no matter whether you say I'm awakened or not, or I want to be or not, you're always here. They're all irrelevant.
So just really accept to be here, independent of whatever.
It's not really your action, but that is the freedom and absolute acceptance of what is. Because whose action would that be? Who would just accept?
I don't know.
Who are you?
I don't know.
It's okay. There's nothing that you have to do. Even though doing happens, like, you can just relax. The bus is being driven.
Yeah. Good.
Nice. Thank you so much for calling in. Nice to
Thank you
speak
so
to
much. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
love.
Much love. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Do you listen to other gurus? If yes, whom do you like? I don't really listen to other speakers anymore, just for a reference point, because somebody's recommended something, but not really. Or sometimes if I can't sleep, putting on the subject of non-duality always makes me fall asleep, and even if it's me, it's very relaxing. I'm very good at listening to a voice and falling asleep. Eckhart Tolle has the perfect voice because it's so monotone, and he really doesn't make very many exciting sounds. He's just very humdrum. I don't know if that's a German thing, just to be on one level. I'm trying to think. And in German, people speak English. I think they do kind of have a bit of a very even level to it. So Eckhart Tolle, if I can't sleep, I put on Eckhart Tolle and I'm out. Very quick. But you know what? Yeah, I don't think that was your question. I don't think that was your question. That was cool rant, Lalo. You got a point. Well, unblocking or opening block chakras help with seeing that we are more than a person. I heard a story of a lady who had an experience of energy flowing through her chakras one by one, and when it reached her third eye, she said her sense of I faded. Then when it reached her crown, the sense of I or individuality was gone and she merged. Yeah. Chakras are very interesting, but I never really studied chakras, so I don't really understand them in the spiritual sense. All I know is that if I put my attention into the chakra areas, it always matches up with the chakras that are typically taught. There's some deviations, but mostly. So I feel like they're very helpful for understanding the energetic body. Thank you for the beautiful introduction. With pleasure, Aspawn. Dominique. Bonjour Dominique, ça va? I presume, I'm trying to say that in French, but I can't. I presume you're French with that name. Hi Lisa, I just want to say thank you. Everything is changing and nothing belongs to us. These words really resonate in me. It's somehow so obvious. I love it. Woohoo! Go Dominique! Woohoo! Love this subject. Love you, Lisa. Hi, Carmela. Hi, Dorota. Hi, Lisa. How would you deal with tinnitus? Tinnitus. The constant ringing in the head. It's driving me crazy. I can't focus on anything else. This taking my peace away. I don't know how I would deal with that. It's hard to tell. I just can't tell how I would deal with that. I'm sorry, sweetie. The answer is surrender. It's always surrender. It's always giving everything back to God. But I don't know. I can imagine tinnitus is very irritating. It's kind of difficult just to say it, let alone live with it. You want to kind of say titanus. Titanus. I am having titanus in my head. I am being, I can imagine it is very irritating. I do have vertigo. I don't know if that's similar at all. Once I had vertigo so bad that I blew my nose when I was sitting on the toilet, and it was so bad it made me fall off the toilet while I was in the middle of going to the toilet. If you don't know what vertigo is, because most people don't, they think it's a fear of heights, which it's not. Vertigo is where you have a disbalance in your ears, and it can make you, if you have vertigo really badly, it can make you throw up and be sick, and it gives you disbalance. So I was sitting on the toilet, and when I blew my nose, obviously my ears popped, and that just sent me into like haywire, and and it was just before a talk as well, so I had to quickly clean myself up and trot off to a talk, but it was very hard because I couldn't even walk down the hallway. It can make you very sick as well. Like it's dizzy, you feel dizzy all the time. And how do I deal with that? I just surrender to it because there's not much I can do. I get it worse when I go on an aeroplane. Sometimes I think I'm all upside down. I can't work out what way I am on an aeroplane. And I just gave the talk, and I felt really sick, and I couldn't work out what way round I was, but the talk happened. But I don't have that all the time. It comes and goes. Surrender's the obvious answer. You just gotta surrender, but it's not somebody surrendering, because who would surrender? Everything can be, you can give everything to God. Every problem you can be like, here, oh, another one, oh, and another one, and my titanous ears. I saw an interview of you, Tim Freak and Gary Webster at Stand 2015. I don't think it was 2015. Gary said the inner monologue stopped for him. Did your inner monologue stop? Mine is still going through. It's more calm and peaceful than angry, but sometimes gets angry. Lots of forgiveness has occurred for myself as well. Makes the mind slow down. I still think. Gary said he'd stopped thinking, but I still think. It's different to what it used to be, but there's still thinking that happens. Hey, Andre. Hey, my name sounds nice in French. Dominique? I think it's a French. Dominique, that spelling. You're not French. Locations, DH. Hey, Helen. Yes, if the identified person wants to hang out on their or hang on their dream, that would be because that energy is still too overwhelming. I'm thinking it is unavoidably a part of this life as a human being. Ego plays out and followed by natural ground zero state, and then life can really start. I don't know what you mean by all of that, so I'm just quietly moving on, Helen. Again, I could try and reread it. That's rude to just sort of play the nice person. You're like, Yes, if the identified person wants to hang on to their dream, what is it you said before? Could you say the ego energy? Okay, yeah, okay, that's okay to just say yeah. Could you explain what it feels like to experience no self on the micro level in your body? Love. It feels like love. I don't like that though, this whole no self or self, because to me, so there's some teachers I hear speak that are very like there is no person inside here. There is a character here. So there's a character that's being experienced. So no self, but there's no identification. So I would say there's no identification with it. I wouldn't say that there is no self. I just wouldn't say it like that. There is no self. It just feels, I have this feeling that I always want to be as accurate as I can, and it just feels better for me to say there's no identification with this a supposed character or self. Thanks, Andreas, for your question. Okay, that's all the questions done. 7:30 and I've done it all. Good job, Lisa. Excuse me, I have to go to the toilet. Sorry, guys. When I go to the toilet, I turn off my microphone and then to turn it back on. So he said, how do you know there's no identification? Man, I don't like that when I have to repeat myself. So I can't. So he originally asked me, how do you know there's something about no self? And then he said, how do you know there is no identification? And I can't possibly know that. Maybe there is still identification with the character. It's not something that could be possibly known. You couldn't even know that there is no self, because who would know it? It's only just a thought appearing and words appearing out of this mouth. So there is nobody that could ever know they're enlightened or ever know they're free. What I can talk about is a before and after, but that's kind of irrelevant as well, and that's getting further and further away in my imagination, is that before I was tight and contracted and then something happened where that stopped. But this point of identification and no identification is possible to tell. You don't get this like booklet with it or leaflet to tell you where you are on the path. There isn't something like that, because who wakes up? Who? So all that happens. So this is the part of speaking about it that I really don't like, this part that people project that I'm enlightened, or people ask me if I'm enlightened, or say, is there a self there or isn't there, or is there this or is there that? I don't know. I just speak about it because I love it, and I speak about it with people. And there was this big shift that happened, whereas before I used to suffer loads, and then that stopped. And that's what I speak about. And there's information in this body and stuff comes out. And if you resonate with it, that's brilliant and that's beautiful, and resonate and use it to help you grow. But I don't know where I am. How could anybody know where they are? I still have ironing out of my personality structure. Habits and dynamics and old seeking patterns still can come up. But I talk about this with you guys regularly, you know. But yeah, I really dislike that. Like, I don't know if there is or isn't identification with that self. And I don't even like to say there is no self, because there's an appearance of a character. That's the way it happens here. And even Gary saying that he has no thoughts anymore. Like, I don't like those types of comments. He also told everybody that he had no sexuality in that talk as well. And that's what happens after enlightenment as well. I don't like these types of things when people say that. I think that's a personality type. I think that's that comes from a very particular personality type. And I don't think that's the truth. Somebody saying I am enlightened, or I no longer have any thoughts anymore, or I no longer have any sexuality anymore, isn't a personality type that has that type of like, this is what, and they're leader type of people. They're like, this is the way we've got to go, and this is the only way, and this is the right way. And they have this very determined mind, and it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing, a way it is. And then they make it sound like that's got something to do with liberation. But who is liberated? When you see that, then you'll laugh at all these like people that insist they're liberated, or they're enlightened, or they're free. And I try to be as genuine as I can with this point. There was something that happened in this apparent story, but even that is thought and memory now. And there is, like, if you ask me really directly, like, who I am, I would feel like everything. I'm everything. That would be my intuitive response, not Lisa. Lisa is the character. But if my mum said, who are you? You know, she's filling out a form. I'm like, well, I'm Lisa, or a bank lady or something. Not my mum. My mum knows that I'm Lisa. But you know, even, and I think this is so a personality type, because I'm even open to the idea that maybe there is a point that you come to where you're like, yes, I am enlightened, and I no longer have thoughts, and I no longer have sexuality. I'm even open for that appearing, because I don't know what the hell is going to appear. I don't know what the future holds. In a way, there is no future. There's only what is, and any idea that you hold to seems ridiculous, but who knows, that could be what happens. I sometimes think, though, that I would be a better teacher if I was more adamant. Because the great thing about having a very adamant teacher, that the teacher's very like, yes, I am right and this is the way it is, it breaks your ideas a lot more because you've got strong ideas, and then it's like they can be like a hammer against you. If you're like, yeah, I'm not sure yet, could be. It's like you come up and you're like, yeah, with your idea, and then I'm like, yeah, okay, time to go, bye-bye. So sometimes it can be really good to have a teacher that's really got strong ideas, but it's a personality type, and don't be fooled by personality types. It's a personality type. My personality type is very much like, yeah, in everything. Could be. I also think the awakening added to that. Could be. And then I might be really firm about something, but then afterwards I'll be like, yeah, I'm not sure. And then you get other ones that are really, I am right. This is the only way. Don't listen to any other teacher. I am your guru. I generally don't like those personality types, so I generally stay away from them. But I also see that they're helpful as well, and they help me on my understanding and on my search. Thanks. Hey, Tim. Hey, I've got nothing to say to you, but thanks anyway. Well, thanks, Tim. I've got nothing to say to you, but I still say many, many things. No sound again. Oh, that was from before. Sound? Oh, yes. So when I went to the toilet. I must remember that. Fabian. Eckhart Tolle said, the way to enlightenment is poured with disillusionment. I feel very disillusioned. Am I close to enlightenment now or just disappointed? I feel life is the big punishment in the universe, a life sentence, like death sentence, and I just have to serve it till it's over. I'm past depression or suicide or spiritual fairy tale land. Thanks. Oh, hey, Fabian. Fabian. Another Fabian. I've already spoken to a Fabian tonight. You gotta see through the bullshit, Fabian. It's all thoughts. That's all thoughts. Just let it go. This is it. This is it. This is it. And the mind's like, yes, but I'm disillusioned. This and that and this and that. And this is it. This is it. This is it. Just let it go. The mind comes up. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Lisa, will you marry me? That is my question. Seriously, but not seriously, because all is real and unreal, like you, me and you, but there is no me and there is no you. Thanks, Trav, but no, I won't marry you. Thank you for always being so honest and transparent. It does help break the ideas and expectations up. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah. I can't help it. It's just my personality type. I can't help it. Actually, sometimes I get pain if I think that I've not been honest enough in these talks, and I'm really freaking honest, but sometimes my heart hurts if I feel like I've given the wrong impression, like I'm more enlightened than I am, or or it'll be like this, because I just feel like there has to, just my personality really feels like it has to show the inside outside. Or maybe I make myself sound like I've got a lot more issues or a lot than I have. I don't know. Maybe I sound a lot more. Who knows? It's all down to interpretation. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it a night tonight because it's getting darker. And Khaleesi's expecting 2 walks a day now, which I always did for her, but I have to start making the second walk a bit earlier. It's very dark out now. It's a little creepy because the clouds are really low. You know when you live in the hills and the clouds come really low? Ba, 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 ba. It's quite cool looking. I can't show you because the light will never show it, but it's like very foggy. You can kind of see the tree tops and then fog, and then the bottom disappears. But I love you very much. Sorry, that was a disappointing end. I I love you very much, and what day are we today? Sunday. I will be here on Wednesday, I think. Yeah, I'm off on travels again. I'm going on a cruise with my mother. She had planned it with my father, but obviously my father passed, so she can't go with him. So I become the surrogate husband, and we are going on a 60s cruise. So it's like all these musicians in the 60s and 70s, they come on the boat, and they like do a concert. So every night you've got a different concert of a different not old as in their age is old, but like they're not quite famous now, but they used to be famous in like the 60s and 70s. And then there is some really famous people as well coming on it. Yeah, it's gonna be really something. I've never been on a cruise, and I'm going on a music festival cruise for crooners. Crooners is I think the 60s and the 70s music. Yeah, and we got to dress up in the evening and everything. It will be quite something. I'm quite excited. Yeah. So just saying that so that in the next coming weeks, just look on my website, because I'm then doing a retreat. I'm going on a cruise and then I'm doing a retreat. So there's going to be a lot of sessions where I'm not live. So make sure you check my website to see when I am live. Thank you very much. I love you lots. Bye, guys.